This thing we call love been tearing me up. This pain inside my chest, it hadn't left me yet. And I love to leave us, but I can't get away from this thing we call love. This thing we call love.
Hailing from Valdosta, Georgia, and raised in Boseyour City, Louisiana, Garrett Jacobs stole hearts on American Idol Season 16 with soulful renditions like It's a Man's World, reaching the top 40. Now 25 and based in Nashville, he's signed with Sony Music Publishing and CAA, cementing his rising star status in country music. With hits like The Healing, Just Like You, number 5 on CMT's 12-pack, Already Ready, Downhill, and Young Love, Garrett's heartfelt vocals and southern roots shine. His newest tune, just released, This Thing We Call Love, is destined to be a hit. Catch him lighting up stages, like his recent gig at Nashville's Analog. Now here's the Trout with his exclusive interview with Garrett Jacobs.
But it's still in my blood, this thing we call
Were you born in Georgia?
No, so I lived in Georgia for a while because my dad was military. So he was stationed in Valdosta at Moody Air Force Base for like 7 years. But I
Okay.
was born in Boseyour City, Louisiana.
Oh, so yeah, that's why you went back to Louisiana originally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're a Cajun.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny because the Cajuns down south will probably disown me because I'm from like Bossier, which is right by
So, yeah.
Shreveport.
Yeah,
So they'll
yeah,
tell
yeah.
me I'm from Arkansas. But my mama's roux is just as dark as theirs. So like, I don't know.
As long as you can explain what lanyap is, you're good. So,
Oh, yeah, it's a
those
little
people
left
over
over.
there like, what? What's that? Anyway,
It's a little extra.
but your story is a little unique from the fact that did you grow up? Because I read what I could read about your bio was the fact that you didn't start at a young age and go, I want to be a recording star. You did you melt into it more when you're older, like in high school? Is that the way I understand it?
So I always had the dream. And it's funny, I'm kind of in the middle of I'm kind of reshaping my brand right now. And I really need to rewrite my bio, but because my bio feels a little like overcooked. I want it to be like, I guess, more genuine or something. But that being said, I've always wanted to do music.
Okay.
Like I remember seeing my mom sing in church when I was like 4 or 5 years old and thinking that was cool and always singing on the radio. I feel like as long as I've been able to talk, I've been singing and always had some kind of thing in my head and always thought about being on stage. But when I was in high school, that's kind of when I found country music. I grew up in the South, so it was all over the place. But when I heard "Whiskey and You" by Chris Stapleton for the first time, and I was like, "What is that? That is awesome!" And that's kind of what got me into country and blues music.
But when was the time that you said, okay, I want to go from a kid that wants to write music to taking it more seriously? Like,
Oh, yeah.
I really want to get into this.
Yeah, so I went on American Idol when I was 18.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about that because I've
Yeah.
interviewed 2 people from there. Okay. How old
Yeah.
were you when that happened?
I was a senior in high school. I auditioned for the show when I was 17. And that entire process, I think it was the 3rd day of Hollywood Week or something, because I was a minor at the time. I turned 18 on the Friday at the end of Hollywood Week.
Oh, okay.
So after that, my mom went home because like they weren't obligated to pay for her stay anymore
No,
or whatever
yeah.
filming.
Yeah.
But anyways, my mom was there during Hollywood Week and I looked at her and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do anything else knowing that this exists,
Wow.
Like I feel like I have to chase this while I can. So when I got off the show in April of
Who
2018.
won that year when you were there?
Maddie Poppy won.
Okay.
And my best friend, Caleb Lee Hutchinson, got second. Um, but I got off the show in April of 2018, and I was living in Nashville by August. And I just kind of like it was a God thing. I knew somebody out here that needed a roommate, and I just came out here. I had 4 boxes and a guitar, and he had a spot that was furnished, so I just was here. Like,
Well, I think the funny thing about it too is you could have taken another path. You could have got up there with all those people and just had the fear of God in you because you're working with a huge organization,
yeah,
American Idol. And you're going from 0 to 250, 400 miles an hour because you're immediately exposed to what it's like at the top of a corporation, a media corporation that
it's
does
TV, dude.
its TV.
Yeah,
And you could have easily gone, okay, this is, let me go back home and play a few bars and I'll be happy.
yeah,
But it's interesting, you went the other way.
yeah.
You said, okay, this lit me up. Now
Well,
I got to do this.
and it wasn't even like the TV aspect of it that did it for me. It was being surrounded by so many people who had the same love for music that I did, talking about like the contestants and everything. And because I had a great time on the show, but at the end of the day, it is just a TV show,
Yep.
you know? Like it's not um like they care about the music and the audience cares about the music, but at the end of the day, it's a TV show and they're trying to get ratings, you know? So it wasn't that part that intrigued me as much as I was 17 and still learning how to sing and being around these people that are my age and older who seem like they're masters to me. I was like, one, it made me be like, I need to be way better.
Hmm.
And two, it just, I don't know, when you have that much energy of the same thing concentrated in one place, like you either love it or you hate it. And I loved it, you know?
Well, I think part of it is it's exactly what you said. It's the energy.
Yeah.
You know, when you go down to Nashville, you live in Nashville,
Yeah.
and you go down Broadway or you go to muscle shows and you hang out with these people, you're all, it's kind of like mind think, you're all doing the same thing. And what I think what changes it too is two things happen to you. You realize you're probably not as good as you thought you were.
Yeah.
That'll scare the crap out of you. And the other thing is you're exposed to people that are I call it in the club.
Yep.
You know, you're in the club. And then you get to talk to people that have been doing it and they can give you some insight. But at the end of the day, it's all about talent and drive,
Yeah.
you know. So, all right, so you come back from American Idol, get exposed to that, and you say, I'm going to move to Nashville. You move in with a friend. What happened after that?
So, when I moved to Nashville, I had been told by plenty of people that if you want to make it anywhere in town, you have to write.
Hmm.
I'd never written a song
Hmm.
when I moved here.
Okay.
So I mean, I had a couple co-writes here and there through, you know, people that I'd met that honestly were just like throwing me a bone. I had no business being in the rooms that I was in sometimes, but you know, they were helping me out. But for the first 6 months, I basically sat in my room every single day and wrote songs, and that was it. And all of them were bad. But you have to do that because that's
true.
just
It's true.
the process of filtering out. It's the trial and error, you know? And you go through that thing where you write a song, and because it's brand new, you're super excited about it. And then you listen to it the next day, and you're like, this is not good. It's not good. And it's also extremely humbling, you know?
I
Earlier, you
remember.
talked about how, you know, you get somewhere and you realize you're not as good as you think you are. Um, if anything has taught me, like, this town has taught me just to stop thinking that you're good at all.
No,
You
you just do
know,
what you
like,
do.
you think positively about yourself and you believe in
Correct.
yourself, but at the same time, like, the second that you think you have something figured out is the second that growth stops happening, and that sucks. You know, I'm always wanting to get better. So putting yourself in the mindset of everybody has this more figured out than me, and I'm just chasing it the only way that I know how. That's
Everybody, it's like anything else.
yeah,
Tiger Woods did not come out of the womb playing golf.
yeah.
You know, it just doesn't happen that way.
He did
Everybody,
come out of the womb wanting to win, though.
no, that's true.
That
It's
is
the
true.
same thing with what you do, and that is it takes drive and determination. The drive is a lot, and I think the other thing humbling is if when you go to the studio and you're getting ready to sing. I'll never forget when I did it, and I went to the studio. First time I record, and I'm standing in front of, I don't know, a $10,000 Neumann mic, and I'm starting to sing, and I'm going, oh my God, I got to get better real quick.
The first time I recorded my vocals, I was at Burton Studios in Shreveport doing a couple demos.
Right.
And I was like, wow, this is hard. You know, like hearing your voice in your ear for the first time. Just that, it's a whole new experience. Now,
Yeah, it is weird.
now being in the vocal booth is one of my favorite places to be, you know, just because from writing so much and doing so much stuff with track guys and producers in the room like that. That's one of my favorite places to be, especially when you're on a new song, because the creativity that happens is like endless. If that makes sense. And I just love that flow. But anyways.
Well, and the other thing that's weird about it is you got to get used to hearing your voice the way
Yeah.
people hear your voice.
Yeah.
Because the first time you hear it, you're like, who's that singing? That's you. It's like, well, why does it sound like that? Because it's not in your head. You're doing it, you have to get over that. Okay, so you started writing. When was the next break or something that happened to you that kind of drove you? I need to keep driving down this road.
Yeah, for sure. So I started writing, and then through a couple co-writes I'd written a couple songs, and we decided to start putting them out. So I started putting out my own singles, and they were more of a pop country vibe, mainly because I was still figuring out who I was as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just, you know, feeling it out and just putting things out there just to make myself known in town and after Idol and everything. And I had a song called Just Like You, and we made a music video for it. It ended up getting on CMT, and like it
I think
did
I saw that. I read
well.
about it, yeah.
Yeah, it did decently well. And just for a couple years there, I was just grinding, chasing the thing that I thought Nashville was, you know. And then I'm going to skip a little bit, because fast forward to now, I realized, like, I did that for, I don't know, 12, 15 singles or something. And
Oh, wow.
the music was growing and progressing the entire time. But I realized, you know, one day I sat down and I asked myself, like, why are you making the kind of music that you're making? And I realized it was because, you know, I liked it, but I was doing it because I thought it's what people wanted, you know? And I thought that's what, you know, was going to get me to the next step in
Yep.
town or whatever. And I wasn't necessarily worrying about making music that I thought was cool. But if you look at all the greats and everything, they find originality because they're not trying to do something that already exists, you know? So
100% correct. 100%.
I started wanting to make music like what I grew up listening to, which was like Bill Withers and Sam Cooke and Chris Stapleton, even with a little bit of Ronnie Millsap. And just, I grew up listening to a bunch of different kinds of blues and soul influenced music, and it was not coming through in my project. And I was just tired of making music that sounded like it was made on a computer. So I just started basically, it's funny, I signed a publishing deal at Sony Music Publishing in 2021. And for the first 3 years of that, I was mainly chasing cuts, you know, because I was thinking, you know, if I can get a #1 song on a different artist, it'll help my artist career.
Sure.
And also it would be awesome to not be broke, you know?
Yeah, that is kind of important, yeah.
Yeah, but then I realized that wasn't working, and that was really hard. So I just started using my demo budget to basically find my own sound with studio musicians. And through that process, Sony Publishing started realizing, like, hey, you're doing something kind of cool. We want to, facilitate it.
Are you ready to take control of your financial future? Meet David Smith, your trusted Edward Jones financial advisor. With personalized strategies and expert guidance, David helps you achieve your financial goals, no matter where you are in the continental USA. From retirement planning to investments, he's got you covered. Call David today at 469372157 to start building your brighter tomorrow. That's 469372157. Your financial success starts here.
And I started working with Chelsea Kent over there, and she's the one that introduced me to Rob McNally, and he started producing my stuff. And now we're where we are now, where I'm recording my first ever full album and doing it with studio musicians. And I actually feel like a real artist for the first time. I moved here and I was trying to figure everything out, and I was green and I was growing and just learning and soaking up everything. And now I feel like for the first time, I'm taking all of that in and trying to apply it to make something that has never been there before.
Everybody is influenced by somebody.
Yeah.
And you could be original, but that amalgamation of people that you mentioned to me earlier, those all have influences on you.
Yep.
And and it's funny, I like pointing them out to people.
Yeah.
So I was interviewed a great blues guitarist a 3 months ago, and she came into town doing a gig, and she's a mostly slide guitar player.
Oh, wow.
She got off stage, and I went over and talked to her, and I said, I heard something there. And she goes, what? I said, I heard a Johnny Winter lick.
Yep.
And she just smiled. She goes, yeah. I mean, and I was listening to another blues artist, and I said, Freddie King, right? And he goes, yeah. So it's even though you're trying to find your own way, you can't help but be influenced by all that.
And I think the great thing, trying to hide it is dumb. I think the greatest thing you can do is give it a little nod in your music, like with a lick or something. For example, I've got a song on the record coming out called Devil's Two-Step. And it is inspired by, like, in country music, there used to be so many story songs.
Oh, yeah.
And I've always loved Life in the Fast Lane by the Eagles. So that song, I got together with my buddy Rusted Kelly, and we wrote a song about a guy and a girl, and we wrote this story around them, kind of like Life in the Fast Lane. And to give a nod to that in the production, Rob laid down some sick harmony parts on the guitar like the Eagles would do in the chorus. And I love doing that because it feels like you're honoring where something came from, if that makes sense.
Yes. And the one thing I do know, and you probably figured this out on your own since you've been with them before, no record label spends a penny on somebody they don't think's going to do anything. Do they?
Yeah.
Do they just don't. And it is a risk. But I also, what I like about your story is so many of the A&R people now, I think they just watch TikTok.
Oh, they do for sure. Well, and to be clear, like, I'm not with a label.
No, I know that. But I know who's helping you do this album.
Yeah.
So somebody's helping you. And they're not, nobody does that just because I think he needs a break. No, that's not the way it works. This is a business.
Yeah, the people at Sony Music,
as you said it earlier.
They've been awesome, dude. Yeah.
And then you get to go out, because that's the other thing too. When somebody, there's two parts to it to me. You can be yourself, but you also know you owe them for helping you. So that's part of it too. So you're going to try to do what you do anyway, but you're not sitting around worrying about, okay, and we got 5 more minutes in studio. Okay, that's it. We got to get out of here today. Can't afford to go, because you're paying for it.
Yeah.
Now it's a whole different ballgame. All right, so you've been working on it. Have you got all of it finished? Have you done it?
So we've got the first 4. We've got 8 recorded so far.
Okay.
And of those 8, 3 are out already. The fourth one is coming out in,
It's one
I
of them
want to
Fool's
say,
Gold. It's one of them Fool's
yeah,
Gold. Is
Fool's Gold just came
okay?
out last Friday.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, so off the project so far, we have Crazy's Going Around, Wishing Well, and Fool's Gold. My next single is called This Thing We Call Love. And then 2 weeks ago, we just got back in studio and cut 4 more, and we're gonna string those out after. And then I think we're gonna start packaging stuff together at the beginning of the year. But because of I wish that I could just drop them all at the same time, like Kendrick Lamar or something. But I'm not
Yeah.
him, you know.
Well,
And
and everybody, let me tell you, even big names, they all say the same thing. We all say the same thing. I'm going to go do an album. But they don't usually drop an album. They drop one song off the album. And then a month later, 2 months later, because I remember, I'm trying to remember who it was that said this, very famous artist. He said, everybody watches series. They want to hear a TV show, but they don't want to listen to the whole series at one time. So
yeah,
it's like when I was your age, we bought albums and sat down and listened to the whole album and recorded them or whatever and listened to the
well, and
whole
that's
thing.
how I still listen to music. Like,
Well, yeah. So, but the world's not like that anymore.
no, they're not.
And I think the advantage you have to a certain degree, I'm from the old school. Somebody like that, you grew up in the, streaming world. You already know how it works,
Mhm.
you know, and it's like, okay, but you also know, like you said, you become popular, but at the other end of the day, you're not going to make any money off streaming.
No,
You're only going to get known, but then you got to go on tour to make money.
and that's all I want to do.
Yeah.
That the entire reason I'm doing this and everything in my whole marketing strategy and everything that I'm like putting my foot forward in, I am just trying to like find my audience and the people that enjoy like the music and me and what I stand for so that then I can go out and play shows. Cause if I'm playing shows and I can like have enough money, all I want to do is like be able to buy a house. And then I'll be good. Like I'm living the dream. Like if I can pay my bills and tour and make music and not have to get a real job, like this is awesome. That's all I want, dude.
And it's not a big ask. Some people want to play, sell out 50,000, 20,000 people arenas or whatever it is,
Yeah.
which is great too. But as you go up in that food chain, the more headaches become.
Well,
Because the logistics and all that costs more money and all that stuff. But here, I did notice though that you still go out, and I assume you still do. I saw it, I think, on Instagram. You just go out and do you do a lot of stuff where you just go out and sit down, bring your guitar and sing? And I
yeah.
couldn't tell somebody else. Yeah, that's
Now I
pretty,
do it all myself.
I like that.
I do it all myself. And now when you're talking about big venues and everything, like it would be cool to do that,
Oh,
And
sure.
I'm just
Yeah.
seeing if that's written in if that's what God has written in the cards for me. But I don't think that you get there without worrying about the first steps, first. If you're sitting there dreaming about that and you're wanting somebody to push a button for you and you're wanting to sign the deal that's going to, put you in the rooms with the writers to get you the number one song,
Yeah.
to get on the radio, like that's just plug and play.
Yeah.
But you're not making anything like real. There's a reason why artists like Cody Jinks and why artists like Kip Moore and artists like Cody Johnson and stuff, they have the careers that they do and they have job security because no matter what happens, there are people who love them and their music and are always going to be a fan, you know? And that's what I'm interested in creating. I don't want to just be on the radio so that I could say I had a number one
Yeah.
song and feel like I'm at the top. Like I don't care about that. I believe we're put on earth to like genuinely connect with people and add something to their lives. So
And it's true. There's nothing better than playing out. It doesn't matter whether there's 100 people or 10,000 people.
yeah,
It's just more people. And people appreciating your music, and as you're building up your career, and it's very rare that you find people that have got up to the top, so to speak, that have not paid their dues along their way. It's
Yeah.
just, and it's like, oh, overnight sensation. Yeah, I've been doing it 10 years.
Yeah.
Or, that's typical what everybody else
I've been
talks about.
working my whole life to be an overnight success.
Yeah. So, and people don't understand that. But I think there's an unwritten rule that you have to do that.
Yeah.
I hone in on people that still write their own music, want to do their own thing. Everybody still needs a great producer to work with. There's nothing wrong with bringing in musicians. I mean, when my first album I recorded in '94, my producer and I we co-produced. He was the engineer of the studio. I said, I'm just going to hire studio people. He knew the great people to hire.
Yeah.
And that way, if it works, if the chemistry's there, it works. If it doesn't, you just get somebody else.
Yeah.
And like you're doing, like I did, you're the boss.
Yeah.
So you need a list of people, but you can't get a better person than Rob McNally to tell you the stuff that and to keep you genuine, because that's hard sometimes, because it's easy to follow the crowd. Oh, I want to be like Keith Urban. Okay, I'll just write songs like Keith Urban. Okay, or I'll do Jelly Roll. I'll do songs like Jelly Roll.
Well, they already exist.
Yeah, they already exist, but then you just want to copy it. But it sounds like to me that you're doing what's not unusual anymore, the independent artist routine. But you do have some people that are really interested in you.
Yeah.
What's the talk around people? You were talking about the lady that introduced you to Rob. What do they say to you? Go out and do your thing. I'm just curious.
They encourage me to remain creative and remain myself and remain positive. Like, that is the main thing. Like, they help a lot with logistic things. Like, right now, I'm trying to plan a backyard tour and like small shows around like the Delta and stuff like that. But so they help with the logistic things on that, and they facilitate booking the studio and everything. But when it comes to just thinking about what's next and everything, they just encourage me to be me and find what I want to do. And then when I find what I want to do, like, I bring it to them, and then we figure out how we can make it work. That's kind of the dynamic that we have right now. And it's really awesome. This whole thing happened because I thought, Rick, I'm going to be honest with you. In November, I was coming up on the last year of my deal. And I was like, I'm going to get dropped anyways because I'm not making these people any money. So I might as well just start making dope music and not care about what my red balance looks like, because I'm not going to make any. So I basically just started doing stuff without asking permission. And I just got lucky that they thought what I was doing was cool.
But you go back to American Idol.
Yeah.
I always tell people this when I watch it. I don't care how good you are or how bad you are, taking that chance and saying, I want to try to get on American Idol. Just try to get on, to get past the first level. That's a self-confidence thing right there. Yeah. Now, did you send a video in, or did you go there and try it?
Oh, so I did both. I sent a video in, and the producers liked me, so they asked me to come to New Orleans. I auditioned in front of the producers, and so I basically got to skip the open call. The producers liked me, and I went home, and then they asked me to come back to New Orleans and come in front of the celebrity judges.
Who were the judges there?
It was the first year that it was like Katie, Lionel, and Luke.
Oh, okay.
It was the comeback season. So I went back down to New Orleans and got in front of them and got my golden ticket. And then it was like, you're going to Hollywood. And I was like, how's this work? And they were like, we'll let you know. So then that happened in like...
Can I show this to the airplane company, the airline? I got a golden ticket.
What's crazy is they didn't let me keep my golden ticket.
They take it back?
I knew a couple people that got to keep theirs, but I didn't get to keep mine.
That's too bad.
Yeah, well, I think
my
that
point
they
being
didn't get
is,
to keep them, they just stole it.
My point is, you took a risk.
Yeah,
Everybody I know that makes it in the business, the music business, has taken a risk.
Yeah.
And I always explain to people, I said, it's not a risk that you would think risky, like hurt your body risk. Like I'm going to drive 150 miles an hour in my car.
Yeah.
You do something like going there and trying out. And that takes, because you have to, in your mind, you have to go, okay, I'm competing about how many people I'm competing to. Oh, and I have to go through this producer. Okay, then another one.
I
gotta
wasn't
keep
thinking
going.
about that, dude.
No, you just wanted to sing.
I literally, the only way that I made it through that show was I was just thinking about the moment that was right in front of me. I was not thinking and I was not thinking, and there's a part of me now that is wanting to get back to that. Like there's parts of your younger self when you were less experienced that you miss. And that is one part that I do miss because I was able to just go into a situation, not care about the outcome, and just be like, focus on the moment, do the best I can in that moment, and whatever happens, happens. And it got me that far on the show. And then I moved to Nashville with the same mindset.
There you go.
And, you know, so I feel like I still do adopt a little bit of it because you sit here and you go and you make the song and you try to make it as good as you can in the moment. And then you put it out and whatever happens, happens, you know?
How many more songs do you want to record to kind of finish the project you're on right now?
So I actually just found out we're doing 8 in studio so far.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to get to do any more than that, but that's what we have recorded now.
Okay.
But on top of that, we're going to record some like acoustic vocal stuff and put that out. And then I'm also going to be doing 2 different like live concerts, basically kind of tiny desk style. In the studio at Sony, and we're going to record those and put those out as well. So I think the goal by December is like 24 songs.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, and I'm so excited for it. Some of them, like, I think some of the acoustic stuff is going to be like recut, like, or some of the live stuff is going to be recut from the, you know, stuff
Original
we did in the studio. But one thing I'm excited for is I have a lot of songs that didn't necessarily fit the project, but they're songs that I love. So I'm going to be able to still put those out as like the guitar vocal stuff. And they'll still get to have a life that I want them to have. So I'm very excited just to be able to put a bunch of music. So the next gig, it hasn't even been announced yet, but August 31st, I'm going down to Monroe, Louisiana, because the Duck Dynasty people are putting on like basically a celebration of life for Phil Robertson.
Yeah.
And they want me to play at it. So I'm going to get to go down there and play, and it's going to be a great time. And I'm super pumped for it. So.
Well, it's a different story. I'd have to ask you all the details, but that's for another time.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Well, Mr. Garrett Jacobs, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it immensely. Well, that's it for this episode of The Trout Show. Thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate it very, very much. Special shout out to Mr. Garrett Jacobs for coming on the show. I just expect a lot of things from him. He's a good songwriter. I'm not just a good, he's a great songwriter. He's just coming into the music business, so to speak. And I just know from the people that have been around him and worked with him and produced him, he's going to be a star in the future. I have no doubt about it. For more information about Garrett, and if you want to know what's going on with him, and he's dropping a lot of songs now, you can go to his website, GarrettJacobsmusic.com, GarrettJacobsmusic.com. Everything you need to know is right there, and it'll lead you to all his social media. For more information about The Trout Show, you know where you can always find it at thetroutshow.com. Everything's on there, podcasts, YouTubes, my music, all that stuff is right there on The Trout Show. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, my handle is Texas Rocker. So, until next time, people, remember what I always say. It's only rock and roll, but I love it. See ya.